Race fans, this is your time. You are locked in on 90 minutes of nothing but motorsports. This is your destination for comprehensive coverage of the Wisconsin racing scene and the world of motorsports. Now in its 35th season, the Racing Roundup Show, America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's live broadcast. And now, here's the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday evening. We are live in Milwaukee in the Big 920, live in Madison on the Big 1070 and 100.9 FM. We are live from Friends on Forest Home, Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar. We're live for the next 90 minutes talking racing with a bunch of great fans and a bunch of great racers here this evening. Great giveaways after the show as well. We'll tell you more about those, including tickets to the Brickyard 400. We have some fun things to share with you, including the world of racing in terms of racing results and what's happening in the racing scene in Wisconsin. It's our 35th year bringing it to you. We're glad to be back live at Friends on Forest Home for our second and final visit of 2019 and our 35th season. Where are we at? We're at 5614 West Forest Home Avenue. Easy to find. We are just minutes north of I-894. If you take the 60th Street exit, take that north to Forest Home. It's an Angle Street stoplight. Hang a right, and you'll find us in 4 blocks. Look for the beautiful Chris Carlson race car sitting out front and all the race cars parked, all the race fans' cars parked around. We are easy to find, and more importantly, we're going to have a lot of fun in this 90-minute program. We have Friends Fest coming up next weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the 7th annual Friends Fest Car Show. They need you to participate, calling all cars. It's free to show. Awards for best car and class and bike. They have classes for each of the different divisions. That's Friday, August 30th, 5 to 10 p.m. right here at Friends in Forest Home. Live music under the 10, 6 to 10, and Friends Fest carries on through Saturday, August 31 of Labor Day weekend as well. So we got a lot of things to tell you about and more details on that big event coming up. We're going to preview Road America this coming weekend. At Road America, the NASCAR teams come to town for the only Wisconsin National Series visit for the NASCAR boys and girls. That's part of our Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup NASCAR report. We also want to tell you that our Apparel Star Driver of the Week is Chris Carlson. Came inches away from winning a feature on Friday night during the fair at Kenosha County Fairgrounds at Wilmot Raceway. I'll talk to Chris about his adventures this season. We also have our Hot Dog Daddy Driver of the Week. His name is Tom Behrens. He drives the number 99 Slinger late model. Fresh off his third-place finish on Sunday night is a team bona fide driver. We'll have him on the program. We're happily joined by his entire family. Steve April's here with the kids and his wife hanging out with us. He currently leads the points in the Slingers Super Late Model point standings. We'll talk to Steve about how his season's going with just a couple of nights remaining for the Super Lates to lock up yet another championship at the world's fastest quarter mile. That's all part of our Bonafide Security Solutions short track report. Dave Davis is going to ride on in on his Indian motorcycle, and Scotty Heft will be here to talk about Race for Autism Awareness Nights at Jefferson and Slinger Tracks this weekend. That and more, I know, lots to cover in 90 minutes. Stay tuned. You're listening to us live from Friends on Forest Home, 5614 West Forest Home Avenue, Milwaukee's original NASCAR. This is the Racing Roundup Show. We're in Milwaukee on the Big 920, and tonight in Madison on the Big 1070 and 100.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Add beauty and value to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team of professionals at Central Services is the personal choice of over 30 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin with landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts of Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business regarding your landscaping or lawn care needs. Find out why Central Services can provide you with a visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005 or toll free at 1-800-236-LAWN. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Make a pit stop now and get your tickets for the NASCAR Xfinity Series C-Tech Manufacturing 180. August 22nd through the 24th at Elkhart Lakes Road America in Wisconsin. This non-stop action-packed weekend features 4 race series. NASCAR Xfinity, the popular Super Trucks, SCCA Pro Trans Am, and the F3 America's Championship. Fans can camp on site, check out the vendors and autograph session, experience go-karting, and more. It's a green flag of family fun. Call 800-365-RACE or print your ticket at home. Visit roadamerica.com. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Road America, your National Park of Speed.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Wolf Paving Raceway, home of the Badger Kart Club in Dousman. Most Sundays from April through September, Club Championship Points Racers and National Touring Series will race on the challenging paved road course. 4 bank turns have been added and provide new challenges to Wolf Paving Raceway, already one of the finest kart racing tracks in the country. Kart racing offers competition for racers of all ages, from 5 to 80. There are 15 classes and over 100 entries a week. Race where Ellen Kowicki, Danica Patrick, and Josh Palicki got their start. Spectator admission is always free. Walk the pits, talk to the racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand, too. Bring the whole family and check out kart racing for yourself. Wolf Paving Raceway is just south of I-94, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. Take the Highway 67 Dowsville-Oconomowoc exit, head south to Highway 18, then west to Grambling Road. For all the latest information and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com. And we're back on the Racing Roundup Show. Glad to have you with us here on the Racing Roundup program. Tonight we're live at Friends on Forest Home, 5614 West Forest Home Avenue. Tommy and Mo are the new owners of the joint. They want you to come on in. Come on in to Stranger Leave as a friend. They've got great specials every day of the week. They've got a lot of fun things going. They have a shuttle bus to Brewers games. I want to tell you again about Friends Fest. It's a big 2-day festival. It's coming up on Friday and Saturday of Labor Day weekend. So Friday night's the big free car show in Friends Parking Lot, the 7th annual car show. Friday night, August 30. There'll be live bands under the tent, food and margaritas all day into the night on Saturday, August 31. And again, it's right here at Friends in Forest Home, Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar. We have giveaways tonight as well to further entice you to join the racing crowd. We got a nice crowd already, enjoying the nice free popcorn and hanging out with us. We have a yellow flag special throughout the show, so our next commercial break, we're going to draw a number of anyone sitting in here. Anybody, just like they do on NASCAR Sundays. If there's a caution flag during a NASCAR race on a Sunday when you're watching it here at Friends, they pull a number, and you get to drink until the next caution flag. Well, tonight we're doing it between commercials. So if you are in the house, we're going to give you a ticket with a number on it. When we go to commercial, you get a chance to win a drink of your choice or two until the next commercial break, thanks to Tommy and Mo here at Friends. We have tonight tickets to the Brickyard 400. We've got a handful of tickets for the Saturday, September Xfinity race at the Brickyard. Brickyard is on Sunday, September 8th. We have those from the Big 920, thank you. We have race tickets to Wisconsin International Raceway. Any Thursday Night Thunder, they're winding down their season, but we have tickets in hand tonight to give those out tonight, too. If you want to go on a given Thursday, we have those. We have bottles of Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup. We have Interstate Batteries, hats, and flashlight keychains. We have a Super Clean degreaser bottles from Dick Kaiser and the Lucky Tiger race team. We have 2 Wild Man Watson Classic Dirt Kings event shirts in promotion of the upcoming second annual on Saturday, September 7th, Dirt Kings race at Wilmot Raceway. We'll talk more to Mike Watson and Nick Simons about that next week on the show. We have 3 pictures from Russ Lake. We've got this is new. This is Dan Gurney and Bobby Unser at Indy in 1971. That's pretty cool. It's black and white. They're hanging out, talking to each other at the Brickyard. We have Russ's first ever published photo of the paper when he was a youngster, 1951 Myron 4 flipping in the South Turn at Milwaukee. And we also have a picture of Wisconsin's old Billy Engelhart hanging out in the cockpit, standing in the cockpit of his car as he qualifies for the Indy 500 on pit road in 1981. Those 3 pictures will be given away as part of our giveaways this evening. You got to be here to win those. We also have, thanks to Tom Behrens, a bunch of racing T-shirts from his race team, so we're going to give those out tonight. And we've got some more cool things, including some die-cast and other prizes for you to win. Hats, T-shirts, Interstate Batteries hats and shirts. Thank those guys again for their support of our Dixieland 250 broadcast and their support all season long. Looking forward to seeing you coming on down and join the racing crowd. It's time for the NASCAR Report, brought to you by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a third-generation Wisconsin business. Everything tastes better with Anderson's Maple Syrup. Try it in your coffee or tea, or even when grilling your favorite foods. Follow Anderson's race team all year long at AndersonsMapleSyrupRacing.com. We begin with a Wisconsin proud moment. Sam Mayer from Franklin. He won Thursday night's K&N E-Series race at Bristol to extend his point lead. My son Sam, who helps a ton of us out on this show, joined the 100,000-plus fans, and he celebrated his birthday Saturday at the Bristol Night Race for the Cup race. He was impressed with Matt DiBenedetto's race to second. Were you? I thought it was pretty cool. Kick and tail until 12 to go. It was a pretty cool experience for Sam as well on his first trip to the Thunder Valley. Racing under green flag conditions, the contact between the left front headlight on Matt D's leading race car and Ryan Newman's right rear might have been the difference in the new Cup Series winner and producing a new Cup Series winner this season. DiBenedetto, his left front corner got caved in, and he said his car's handling got tight, which allowed race winner Denny Hamlin to race past him with just 12 laps to go to win the 500-lap race at Bristol. DiBenedetto learned earlier in the week that he lost his Cup ride due to a business decision for Levine Family Racing, which is widely believed to be filled next year by Christopher Bell and the Joe Gibbs-affiliated number 95 Toyota team. No announcement yet. Hamlin recovered from early contact with Jimmy Johnson to race into contention and admitted afterward that he led Matt D to believe the top groove is where Hamlin wanted to run. And when it was time to make the move, he went to the bottom and was gone. Jimmy Johnson was involved in a couple of accidents. He rallied to 19th, but now trails Daniel Suarez by 26 points to make the playoffs. Paul Menard of Eau Claire finished 23rd. Josh Bilicki made the race in Rick Ware's Chevy at Bristol, but his helmet cool box failed in his Cup car, which was too much. He got ill in his helmet and pulled in due to fatigue. He was credited with 35th. He'll be racing this Saturday at Road America. We're going to have Bristol Xfinity Series race winner Tyler Reddick on our show September 3rd when we're live at Bergie's Pub and Prime to preview his Sweet Anderson's Maple Syrup ride at the Brickyard. Friday night at Bristol, Reddick drove to victory after pre-race inspection failure penalty, which made him start last. Then he spun out during the race, and wouldn't you know, he got back into contention, run about 4th, and the other guys had issues. The biggest gift was from Justin Allgaier, who was leading the race within sight of the finish when a tire went down on the number 7 machine, handing Reddick his 4th win of the season. Chase Briscoe raced to 2nd, John Hunter Nemechek to 3rd, and Jeremy Clements to 4th. Pole sitter and Road America favorite Austin Cindric was 5th. Speaking of Road America, we continue with our weekend preview of NASCAR's only Wisconsin National Series race. It's this weekend at Road America. The SeaTech Manufacturing 180 NASCAR Xfinity Series race will headline a weekend full of racing in Elkhart Lake. I'm fortunate to be working on the track PA all weekend, and if you listen to the Big 920 and the Big 1070 coverage of the race on Saturday, live, you'll hear me in Turn 8. I'm looking forward to hanging out with the MRN folks. Live coverage, so you hear that on Saturday afternoon right here on the Big 920 and the Big 1070. 1 year ago, race winner Justin Allgaier went to 7 more laps at Road America, or 28 miles longer than his competition on his last set of tires to win, and he's in need of a win this season. We just talked about the troubles he had, and it said it typified his year after leading 130-some laps, coming home 7th or 8th or whatever it was, after the tire going down in the lead. This year, Austin Cindric won at his home track at Mid-Ohio and Watkins Glen in road course races, 2 for 2 out of the 3 they run in the series. Team Penske has now won at Road America 1 time, looking for 2 with Cindric. 2013, they went to victory with A.J. Allmendinger driving. The Dinger is entered to race this Saturday for Kaulig Racing at Road America in the number 10 Chevy. Wisconsin will be represented by Richfield's Josh Bilicki, Nick Hammond from Elkhart Lake, and Mike Harm's number 74 for the first time since 2017. Dexter Bean from Westby, Wisconsin, and Mario Goslin's number 90, and by recent show guest Dick Karth of Germantown, will be making his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut in Carl Long's number 61 with the big Dick Trickle Memorial Project labeled right across the recorder. So look for his car on track in Dick's debut in NASCAR. Richard Childress Racing has 2 wins at Road America with Paul Menard and Brendan Gaughan, and this weekend brings Tyler Reddick and Kaz Gralla in the number 21 to try to add to that total. Also on the schedule this weekend is the SCCA Pro Trans Am with TA2 getting their own race, Formula 3 Americas, and the return of Robbie Gordon's popular Stadium Super Trucks. They'll be on track after the Xfinity race on Saturday. They'll have a shootout earlier in the afternoon. All the details are at roadamerica.com. It was also announced this past Friday that Wisconsin NASCAR champion Matt Kenseth will be the Grand Marshal at the race Saturday at Road America. Well, that news dropped this past Friday. I went to Madison International to see Matt race. I was able to connect with Matt at Madison International Speedway. Pride was run to 4th in the Howie Little Classic Super Late Model race to get his take on this dubious honor, and actually got a little uncomfortable while we're talking because I don't think he knew the details I was spilling at him. You can hear this in his voice, I think. But for an unprecedented 3rd time, we had to say yes. An unprecedented 3rd time in 2019, the most we've ever had Matt Kenseth on our show in a single season. Happy to say he's on again. Here's my exclusive interview with Matt regarding his role this Saturday as Grand Marshal. Well, we're here with the star of the show, come the SeaTech Manufacturing 180. He is going to be the man to let things roll, Grand Marshal Matt Kenseth. Matt, congrats on getting this next gig in racing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, isn't it? So, yeah, thanks. I've actually never been to Road America for a race. I always thought someday I would come up here and race, and I still might someday. You never know. I think it'd be fun Xfinity race to run. So when the SeaTech guys called and wanted me to come up there and be the Grand Marshal, I thought about it for a day or two, and I thought, why not? I thought it'd be fun to come up here and see a race, and a lot of great people up there, and looking forward to coming up and hanging out.
You've had 650 Cup races to maybe sometimes hear the command to start engines, maybe not. Maybe you're in the car worried about when they say go turn the fingers and switches and stuff. Have you emulated anyone? Have you thought about what you're going to say and who you're going to model Matt Kenseth's command after?
They didn't tell me I had to do that.
Well, you got to say that's what the Grand Marshal does.
Oh, I didn't know any of that. I thought I was just signing autographs and watching the race and eating bratwurst.
You know, there's a good chance that Dave Coleman and Dennis Krause already have you cornered. What? You get to do that too? Wave the green flag to start the race?
I think he's waving the flag.
I know. By me being on that bridge, there's been the same guy. He gives the command and waves the green flag. So, if you are the guy, Matt, I'm just trying to get some cues going here. If you're the guy to say the command, you gonna practice? You need some pointers? Do you need fans to maybe send you gifts of various things? Jimmy Fallon falling down on the racetrack at Chicagoland during his command, would that be something you may want to do?
I've never really paid attention to a command before. I don't know. I'll be embarrassed either way because I always hate getting up in front of people and speaking and doing things like that. So to get on there and yell might be embarrassing, but I'll come up with something.
What? So the neat thing is you can hide anywhere at Road America, and they won't find you for days or weeks. You're going to come up with a camper, you're going to hang out, you're going to bring the bike, bring the kids, go jogging 4.5 miles a day?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I have never been there for an event. I went through there one time on a Kyle Petty charity ride, rode our motorcycles around there once. But I've never tested up there. I've never seen a race up there, so I'm looking forward to it. It's beautiful, beautiful up there. We actually stayed in that area on the Petty ride. And like I said, it's a beautiful track and everything. So I'm looking forward to getting up there and seeing a race. I don't know where I'm going to be or what I'm going to do.
So you might see Matt at the Plymouth Rock Campground like you were for the Kyle Petty charity ride that one year. Just roll in across the track, take a lap, keep going. I don't know. It's a campground across the street. I thought maybe that's how you roll. You going to bring the camper? You know yet?
No.
So when it comes to Road America, I did some stats. 2 top 5s on road courses in Xfinity. And the second to last road course you ever raced at Watkins Glen, you finished second in 2017. So if they said, Matt, we need you in a pace car, we need to give you pace car rides, and then you don't want to get out, is that a temptation for you? Do you like this whole idea of maybe getting some more road test laps?
Man, I don't know. I gotta be honest. This whole line of questioning and this whole Grand Marshal thing has me a little out of my comfort zone. That's part of the reason I'm doing it. I'm gonna go up there and go see all the C-Tech guys and great company and good guys, and looking forward to seeing them and going up and seeing the fans and watching the race. And I don't really know what to expect. Like I said, it's something I've never done before, a little out of my comfort zone. So I'll put myself out there and see what happens.
And that's Matt Kenseth. Could he tell you a little squeamish? He was in between practice sessions and going out to qualify, and I'm laying all this Grand Marshal knowledge on him. He's like, I'm just supposed to wave the green flag, aren't I? So unfortunately, I think I got Matt spun out. And I don't like to spin out Matt Kenseth. I want him on the show. He even offered to come on the show live, and he had a commitment tonight. So that was Matt in between sessions at Friday's Madison International Speedway race, where he had a great job. Started on the pole. I started outside row 1 and raced the 4th. More on that to come. We have a full show for you. Come on down and join the racing crowd. We're live at Friends on Forest Home, 56th and Forest Home, Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar. Great giveaways after the program. We've got some great guests as well lined up for you. When we come back, we'll talk about the world of motorsports in 90 minutes. So it's to do every Tuesday at 6 to 7:30 right here on the Big 920. And stay tuned to us. We're live at Friends on Forest Home and the Big 1070 in Madison at 100.9 FM, and we will be right back.
Interstate Batteries, proud sponsor of the Racing Roundup Show and the number 18 of Joe Gibbs Racing. Interstate Batteries is the number 1 replacement battery in North America. You deserve the best, so get the best. Go to interstatebatteries.com. Go to interstatebatteries.com to find a dealer near you. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. Get yours today. Race on.
Friends on Forest Home is Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar at 56th and Forest Home Avenue. Join the NASCAR crowd to watch all the Cup Series races. New owners Tom and Mo Fox welcome you to join them for Friends Fest this Labor Day weekend, Friday car show, and live band all weekend long. Friends on Forest Home is the home of the Bloody Mary. Shuttle bus service to Brewers home games. Come as a stranger, leave as a friend. Friends on Forest Home at 56th and Forest Home Avenue is Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar.
Speed 51's Video Network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We will take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, historic races, and thousands of on-demand videos. The Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the greatest video coverage.
Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
All right, people, here we go. First winner of the Yellow Flag Special. You get the drink for free here at Friends until the next caution, which is our next commercial. Pull out your tickets. You got one when you walked in. Last three numbers, 373. 373. Present your ticket to our friendly bartenders, Tommy and Mo. 373. You win the trophy, and you get the drink for free until the next caution. Hey, we're back on the Racing Roundup Show. We're figuring things out. As a matter of fact, I forgot to tell you. One more reason to come on down and join friends at Forest Home tonight for our Racing Roundup Show broadcast. Thanks to PF Flyer Chassis and Chuck Berry, all tap beer is free tonight during the show. How about I say it for PF Flyer Chassis for doing that for us here at Friends tonight? What do you think? Thank you, Chuck. Bobby G just walked in. Feature winner on Sunday night at Slinger. Bobby Gutnick, Gold Creek Automotive, hanging out. Free tap beer during the show thanks to PF Flyer Chassis. That's another reason to come on, John, and join the Racing Friends. Come in a stranger, leave a friend. This is Milwaukee's original NASCAR barn. If you're looking to sell or buy a home or commercial property, you need to choose Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. List and buy with confidence. You hire a landscaper because of their expertise. You hire a roofer because of their expertise. Hire a realtor that has the knowledge and expertise to get your deal done. Not all realtors are the same. Knowledge is power. Hire knowledge. Matt Rapina. Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. MattRapina.com. MattRapina.com. It is now time for our App Royal Stat of the Week, leading into our App Royal Star Driver of the Week. And his return to Dirt Modified Racing, former Wilmot Raceway track champ Chris Carlson has teamed with PF Flyer Chassis and Chuck Berry and Lee and a bunch of folks and Trixie to race for wins at several Wisconsin short tracks this season. App Royal, I'd like to remind you, they're a leading global SAP technology solution provider who makes it simple for companies to implement big data solutions for today and the future. App Royal was founded by a Wisconsin racer and provides businesses with the big data tools for a team to succeed. Visit approyo.com to get your team the right information to take home the checkered flag. And now here's our App Royal Star Driver of the Week, Chris Carlson. Chris, welcome to the show. Thanks for bringing the race car.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Let's get right to it. This Saturday night, I watched your Facebook feed. I was hoping to see a better result, and then you showed your a picture of your car, and your fingers, your first finger and your thumb were about, I don't know, almost touching. You said it was that close to a victory, finishing second Friday night at the fair at Kenosha County at Wilmot. Tell us how things shook down.
Well, so far this season, I have earned the nickname Harry Gant, I guess, because we keep on finishing second. So
boy.
Yep. We have yet to pull off a win. I think we've been good enough quite a few of those nights to be able to get it. And actually this Saturday night, or Friday night actually we raced, is the best the car's run all season. We've been having some little gremlins that have just been biting us every week. And this is the first week that all of the pieces came together and the car ran well.
We were fortunate to have you on our first show here at Friends on Forest Home at the beginning of the season. Now we're in the swing of things. How much of a struggle has it been with the race conditions? How much has it been? Because I know you want to do some traveling. What are some of the things that you're trying to knock out the list of things to try and do and don't work?
Yeah, so we started off the season traveling around a little bit. We went up to 141 and gave that a shot. And for some reason, I am really struggling there. We just haven't got that place figured out. And I don't know how those guys are so fast. And we kind of thought, well, maybe it's because we're running an open motor compared to a crate motor. That's the reason why we're not running up front. But we would have been getting our butts handed to us even if we were racing against open motors. Just something's just not right, and we haven't figured it out. So what we decided to do is just go back to Wilmot and go to a place that we were familiar with just to kind of get the bugs worked out.
Yeah.
And we've been running well there, but, man, we go out on the road and we're just not very good. And actually, the last time we were up at 141, I think that's the worst race car I've ever driven in my life.
Ooh,
I mean, I was
okay.
not too happy with that one. We were just terrible. And, man, those guys are fast. I'll tell you one thing, though. 141 has got their act together. I don't know if you've been up there.
Not since it's dirt, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, man. They have got their act together.
I know.
Yeah. And people should get up there and see the way that
Greg
that
Shaw
track
is
run.
actually here. It's amazing. Just thought I'd just
That is
interrupt everything
amazing.
right there.
Yeah, for a guy who doesn't like racing, it's amazing.
That guy, yeah. 141, they click things off. I've heard nothing but really good reviews about how you're treated as a racer, how the fans enjoy the fact it's such a fast-paced and well-run show.
Yeah, and they keep the track nice. They don't get it heavy, hammer down where it's rough and beating up your equipment. It's smooth. They prep the track every race. They go through, they sprinkle some water down on it, and they pack it down, and they have some really good races. You know what's really cool is that when you're in the pits, they actually have a balcony that goes up above turns 3 and 4, and it's a pretty cool perspective to see the races from there, and it gives everybody an opportunity in the pits to actually watch the races. So the whole facility is nice. They treat the fans great up there. They have giveaways. There's a little bar up on top, like a little sports bar that they have going on during the races, and they pack the stands. It's pretty cool.
And when I mentioned Greg Schall's name, because it's such a nice surprise to see Greg here. He's one of the guys that I would say was probably running around under the bleachers when you were, right?
Probably, yeah.
So you and Dean Strom, who's been a great part of our show, you guys, there's like 4 or 5 or 10 guys that are all about the same age by now, right? That you guys spent like the last...
No, I think Greg's got me by about 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah,
okay, so he was the oldest of the group running under the bleachers?
Yeah.
How much fun is that still hanging out with some of those guys? After
pretty-
running around the bleachers and watching your dad, Greg Carlson, race so much, and watching his dad and Bill Strom and what they did as a business, and Greg's towing on the track.
Yeah, well, when we first started out racing, we ran out of my parents' garage for a little bit, and then Greg had his shop, which was a really cool experience, where you had a lot of top flight race car teams in that shop, and we learned a lot. Whether it was the Wilkies or whether it was Danny Source or Mark Brunner or any of those guys. I mean, it was a shop full of people, and what was really cool is that if something happened to somebody a week, let's say they broke something, you learn from that. Okay, we need to check that so we don't have that same thing happen to us. And I think that's what made us a good racing team at that time, is just because you had those opportunities to learn, and then you had opportunities to talk to those guys. It was funny because we were at Wilmot for one of the races, and Davey Ray was there. He was in the shop when we were there as well, too. So it was pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool to get to know somebody like that, and that they know who you are when you come up to them. But we learned a lot during those times, and that was a great experience.
Have you ever been to a dealership garage where you got a lift after lift after lift? That's how close you guys were to each other. You had your pit box against the back wall, and you had stuff stacked between, but it was not like you were in your own little room. You were in the big room.
Yeah,
so you probably couldn't help but share, which is kind of cool too.
Right. Yeah, and it was a great learning experience, and I think a lot of people could probably use those experiences just to get better. All the stuff that we do now, maintenance wise, is things that we learned during those days.
When it comes to this race car and the people involved, I know it's something of a homecoming for you to come back to the modifieds after racing some dirt late models and actually doing. When people didn't know what crate engines were, you were racing them all up and down the East Coast. So how have things changed for you, even through this season, in terms of getting the right handle on things?
Well, we've been having a hard time getting the right handle on things, but I took off a year, and I'll tell you what, it is amazing taking off a year. I thought that I wouldn't lose a step, and I lost a step after taking a year off. And we tried, over the winter, we were talking to people, and we were, going with the new setups in the car. And that really didn't work out that well with somebody who had taken off for a year. I thought that I could just get right back into the car and be right where I was. And it took me a little bit just to get acclimated to the car and to get some smoothness back, because it was a little erratic there at the beginning of the season.
How wrong is it to think that the modifieds are just late models without fenders?
And that's not wrong to think at all. Other than they're not on bump stops, the shock technology is close, but it's not the shock technology that's in the late models. Late models are just in a different stratosphere right now when it comes to technology. I mean, and I think you're seeing, well, once the NASCAR influence came into the dirt late models, that completely changed the game. When you're pull down rigs and doing all that kind of stuff, and then having the engineers from NASCAR, because you have Clint Boyer involved and Tony Stewart and a lot of those guys. And that technology has just gone through the roof. And, it's really amazing that, you go to a local track and you're maybe racing for 800 or 1,000 to win. And I never thought I'd see the day where guys would legitimately have $100,000 in a car, between engine and the way the chassis are right now. You have that much money in a car if you want a top flight late model team. And the modifieds they're getting a little crazy as well, too, if you want to go traveling. And maybe the crate motors save that stuff a little bit, just because engine technology.
And the pricing, I'm guessing, might be a little less?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, when we were racing the crate motors, when I was doing that in 2006, if you sawed a motor in half, the most it was going to cost you was $5,000, because you just go buy a new one. If you saw 900 horsepower an engine, it's going to cost you a little bit.
Yeah. Hang out with Chris Carlson, who brought his race car to Friends on Forest Home, where we're hanging out on the air till 7 o'clock tonight. It's a sponsor of yours. Who are the other sponsors, Chris, that you've had with you all season long and will carry on through what's left of your season?
We're at Friends on Forest Home.
Yep.
And this is a pretty cool place to hang out. Diamond Jim's Motors, Central Services, Oak Creek Automotive, Premier Fabrication, PF Flyer Race Cars, Get Bent by Chuck. Chuck's having to straighten out body panels this year. I've been trying to take it easy on him, but he's had to do a little bit here and there. Design 122, and then Badger sheet metal.
That's a lot of different people.
Yeah. I hope they're happy with the season so far. I don't know if I'm overly enthused about how we're doing so far. This finishing second a bunch of times isn't we're kind of used to running with the modifieds, and it's I don't know, it's a little frustrating.
What's left on the schedule to make it a better season, Chris?
Well, we are going to we're going to keep hammering on Wilmot, and we'll get to the Jimmy Watson race. And after this last weekend, this was really since I've had PF Flyer race cars, I think this is one of the best cars I've ever had. We finally used some of the new pieces that we had purchased at the beginning of the season, and the whole package came together. And we did some the pull bar in the car. It's something that's completely different, and we made some adjustments to it throughout the night, and it actually changed the car around a lot more than I thought it would. So I think we're a step in the right direction. And there's good cars at Wilmot. From the time that I was there, when I left for a little while to go race late models, things have changed a little bit, and a lot of the guys who were kind of struggling a little bit got their stuff together, and they're driving the cars straight, and they're competitive. And it's no longer that you just unload and you can go there and win. You gotta be on. The frustrating thing about Wilmot and with any other short track right now is it's not like Hales Corners where if you qualified and it put you in a position, and then you could kind of gauge where you're going to be, and you didn't get penalized for running well. And that's the part that's frustrating about short track racing right now. And I don't know if promoters really understand how frustrating it is. You have fast time. You get a roll of a dice in the heat race, and you end up having to start sixth. You end up winning the heat race, or you finish second. So you've done all this passing of cars, and then you think, okay, I'm going to be sitting in a good position for the feature. Maybe they're going to invert 3 or 4 or whatever it is. Well, next thing you know, you're starting 10th after you've done all of this work, and you're right behind the cars that you had to pass in the heat race. And I think if you had an honest discussion with a lot of race car drivers, I think they would have the same frustration that I do, is that you're penalized for running well, and you never know where you're going to be because it's this roll of the dice thing that is just, and especially when you get to some tracks, you're talking about cars that are maybe a second or two slower, and then they end up being on the pole, and that's where the nights end up being a little bit longer, and you risk wrecking your equipment, and it's just because of this roll of the dice thing. But, I guess I understand why they do it because of time. The one thing that Wilmot has done is they have hot laps, and they're using that as time trials.
Okay.
Which is pretty neat. I've always enjoyed time trials. I think one-on-one with the racetrack and being able to qualify is pretty tough to do, and to motivate yourself and to be fast qualifying, and but then all of a sudden you got the roll of the dice and you're right back behind everybody, and it's just so far this season I think the finishing second, we haven't started better than fourth in a feature.
Gotcha.
Every week, and that's the part that makes it tough. And at Hales Corners, if you won the week before, you'd have to start 12th. You had to do that. But Hales Corners was a track that you could race, and you could look at Russ Scheffler. He would win week after week after week after starting 12th, which was pretty impressive. That was a really racy track. Where nowadays kind of the tracks are heavy, hammer down, and it's kind of hard to work your way through traffic like you could back then.
Gotcha. We're hanging out with Chris Carlson on the Racing Roundup Show, where you're live at Friends on Forest Home, and we mentioned Jim Wildman Watson. You mentioned how NASCAR technology has filtered into our racing. Well, Jim Watson actually went the other way. He went from local racing to NASCAR, was a part of Martin Truex's NASCAR winning team in 2017. He unfortunately passed away in October of 2017 during the Kansas race weekend. And there's a race that is coming up. You mentioned the Watson race. It's actually Saturday, September 7th. Mike Watson's here. He's actually be on our show next week. But that race is going to be in honor of Jim Wildman Watson. And the first one was held at Wilmot Raceway last fall. The next one's coming up September 7th. And you have the unique perspective of watching him through his sportsman days. You got to race against him in a late model. And then every now and then he'd pop back, or he'd pop to town for a week or two. Maybe you saw him cross paths at Friends in Forest Home. I remember he and I had a nice long conversation here after a radio show just a few years ago. What are your thoughts about Wildman and how much this race is meaningful to a lot of people?
I think it's meaningful to a lot of people that race at Hales Corners because you got to see him race, and you're familiar with the name. And he won races, and he put on a show for everybody. That's where he got the name Wildman from. He'd be up on the cushion scraping the wall. Him and I used to joke around. We'd message each other every once in a while. We'd come across a picture of him and I racing, and I'd maybe be up on the top of the track and he'd be down on the bottom of the track. and we'd kind of joke around about it, and then we kind of have a picture sequence where eventually I'd work my way back down to the bottom, and he'd be up on the wall.
I think there's a dandelion growing out of turn 4 on the outside. I got to trim that baby before this heat's over. Oh, my goodness.
Exactly.
It's kind of fun. And as far as your season's going, this is the good luck charm. 2 drivers we've had on recent shows have gone on to win the feature the next week after our show. And that's just the most recent 2 shows.
Maybe I should find $100,000 a win show or something. That's what I should do then.
Well, funny you mentioned that. It was part of my report. I'll just tell you now that there is a track in Middletown, New York. This past weekend, they celebrated their 100th year of racing. The Centennial Race Weekend at Orange County Fair Speedway. It was on the hood of Stuart Friesen's truck, I think. He's raced there. They paid $100,000 to win, as you mentioned it. A big block modified race Saturday night. They had a Thursday night dirt sponsored modified race, won by Matt Shepard. Friday night, they had an $8,000 to win race. That was 10. He won the $8,000 to win on Friday. Got wrapped up on lap 3. He only made it back to third. They had a 2-hour rain delay Saturday night. They're paying $100,000 to win. Everybody's there to watch it. They had 69 cars sign in. They started 43 cars in a 5/8. And Stuart Friesen only got to second.
Have you ever seen those cars run before?
Yes.
Have you?
Yes. Yeah, Volusia, yeah.
What? I mean, I know you've done some traveling around. What's the most memorable experience that you've ever had at a race?
Seeing the unbelievable look and feel and stance of those modifieds was just amazing. It was Brett Hearn's car at Volusia, and he parked in a really dark corner of the pits, and his car was jet black. Everything was jet black. So to see that car roll in, I'm like, wow, that's something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
So it's just a neat experience, and I was actually expecting him to carry more speed. But with that big boxy body on him, it maybe hides some of that speed because it looks so upright compared to a lower,
they are
sleeker
unique looking.
modified.
They are cool looking race cars. There's no doubt about
they
it.
Hauled. Yeah.
I think they're just a little bit behind the late models on the technology side because they're running torsion bars and all that stuff. And I think that's why, and I don't know if they race for the money. Well, they just had the $100,000 to win race. But McCready is, he's not racing those. He's racing late models.
Right.
And I think there was a couple other guys that were modified guys that are running late models as well too.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy. So maybe someday we can get a promoter to say, you know what? I've been in this race for business for a long enough time. I'm throwing $100,000 to win.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is one just this past weekend. It's kind of cool that I happened to come across it. And as a matter of fact, a driver that's from there, he runs a Sportsman Modified. He races on the Arkham Menard Series now. So I talked to Tommy Vai about that. So funny you should say $100,000 to win because it just happened on Saturday.
Yeah. I think seeing those cars race at Eldora or even go to Charlotte when they're having the Dirt Track World Championship, and have the late models there, and I think they run modifieds, maybe sprint cars. That'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it would.
Just to see all the different classes.
Did we thank the people behind your efforts, Chris, before we turn you loose?
We did not. So this deal came together with Chuck and Trixie, and they got me back into a race car. I really didn't think I was going to be back in a race car ever again, and the experience is fun as always because I get to hang around with my crew guys because they are wonderful to be around. They're great people, and they give me the confidence that I can run the car as hard as I possibly can and know that things aren't going to fall off of it. Bruce, Bill, Lee, Gail, I mean, they've all given me the tools to win, so it's up to me now to get us a win. So I feel like these races have been on me for finishing second, and maybe it's just being a little, knocking the rust off a little bit.
Well, here we go. We're rust-free right now. I finished second by a whisker on Saturday morning. Sanford. Chris Carlson joining us tonight. Chris, thank you for coming. Thanks for bringing the race car as well.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
He actually had a list of questions for me, but we're flat out of time in this segment. Wouldn't you know? Hey. We are live at Friends on Forest Home, 5614 West Forest Home Avenue, and we want to have you come down and join us. Every Sunday they watch NASCAR races. This is your home for Packers games. They actually have reserved tables to watch Packers games. That's how cool it is to be here at Friends, hanging out with sports fanatics. 56th and Forest Home is Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar. We're hanging out here till 7:30 on the air. Great giveaways after the show as well. We have a lot more to come. We've got Steve Apel, the leading point man at Slinger Super Speedway, and the super late models coming on the show. We have the Hot Dog Daddy Driver of the Week. Tom Behrens is with us tonight. Dave Davis is riding in to talk to us as well, plus the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report and more. Come on down and join the racing crowd. Win great prizes after. Wes Eckert is in the house. Good to see you, Wes. I didn't see the suspenders till just now. Wes Eckert's in the house. You want to hang out with some racers? Tonight's the night to do it. We're live at Friends on Forest Home, 56th and Forest Home. Join the racing crowd. We're live on the Big 920 Milwaukee. We're live in Madison on the Big 1070 and on 100.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dave, co-owner of Indian Motorcycles in Metro Milwaukee, where motorcycles are our passion. To prove our passion, check out our Colorado trip videos for 2017. We have a full calendar of rides and events, and we hope you can join us this riding season here in Wisconsin. We're proud to be Milwaukee's only flat track racing team with pro rider Jeff Carver riding an FTR 750 prepped and race right out of our shop. We are Milwaukee's experts when it comes to motorcycle performance and upgrades. We carry the newest in ride gear and accessories. We are also Royal Enfield dealer. Shop the new and pre-owned inventory here at Indian Motorcycles and MetroMilwaukee.com. Experience the quality of today's Indian motorcycles made since 1901. Indian Motorcycles of Metro Milwaukee, located on Racine Avenue, just 5 minutes south on I-43 on Racine Avenue in Muskegon.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Delansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln and West Allis.
Calling all racers. Turn your metal recyclables into cash at one of Allied Resource Recovery's locations in Milwaukee, West Allis, or Waukesha. Who doesn't like cash for that metal you no longer use in your race shop or on your job site? Allied Resource Recovery, family owned by hardcore racers, and has been recycling since 1938. Recycling pays for you and the environment. Allied Resource Recovery, your recycling destination. For more, visit AlliedResourceRecovery.com.
Racing Roundup Show. Visit the show's website, racingroundup.net. Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
All right, people of friends, here we go. You got a blue ticket when you walked in. We're in commercial. That means somebody else is going to win the yellow flag trophy. Here we go. Last 3 numbers of this winner. 397. 397. Dale Earnhardt, Alan Kowicki, 397. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show, live in Milwaukee on the Big 920, live in Madison on the Big 1070 and 100.9 FM. We're live on the website as well, racingroundup.net. And we also have a Facebook Live feed going thanks to Matt Rapino, Caldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. Chris Carlson actually went out to his truck and got us a cool banner. It looks just like the side of his race car with all his sponsors on it. We're giving that away after the show tonight. So come on down and join the friends at Friends on Forest Home, 56th and Forest Home, where we are hanging out till 7:30 on the air. Hey, if your vehicle's gotten the black flag, you need to call Miller's Sales and Service right now. The number is 920-994-4358. They have over 60 quality newer pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, specializing in General Motors products. Ask for Brad, Jerry, or Tom. That number again, 920-994-4358. Miller's Sales and Service. All of their inventory is online at millerssales.com. We now bring in the gentleman who has won 4 features this season, leads the point standings, heading into a couple more nights of racing at Slinger Super Speedway. Talking about the Super Late Model Series, Super Late Model points leader, Steve Apel. Steve, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
And we have a guest announcer with us tonight.
We do. We have Cameron Apel, my oldest son. So
Yeah, and who else did you bring with you? I see there's other family members.
Yeah, my mom, my dad, my brother. He's back at home actually working on his race car, getting it ready for Slinger September 8th, the Legend car. So I got my wife, got my youngest son, Harrison, and the rest of the guys, Doug. Who else is here? Tommy Behrens and his family. But good group of guys, and excited to be on.
This is quite the season. Had you planned on racing for the points championship at Slinger? I know that you won a Red and Blue State championship. You've raced at other tracks. How did this come together to be in the position of now holding a 78-point lead with 2 races to go?
Last year we took the season off at Slinger. We didn't race every week, and it's really hard to get in a rhythm when you don't race every single week at Slinger. So the competition is really tough, and you have to be on your A game to be a contender. So this year we talked to all of our sponsors and decided to race every week at Slinger and then dabble a little bit in the Tundra Series, and then we'll probably play a little bit at the end of the year. Kind of depending on how the season ends up, but overall it's been a decent season so far. Four feature wins, a few fast times, but we've been there. We've been close. I think the top 5 almost every race except for 1 or 2. So, which is really cool. Unfortunately, we didn't win the Slinger Nationals, which was our goal, but our goal going into this year was to have some fun and represent our sponsors in the right way and race against our competition, but load the car in the trailer hopefully the same way we unloaded it coming into the night.
We had you on our Slinger Nationals broadcast thanks to some great sponsorship from the Slippery Rail, and looking at how that night went. You're a guy I know can analyze things. What did you analyze about that night that will help you next year win your first Slinger Nationals?
There's a lot of things. When it comes to the Slinger Nationals, it's 200 laps against the hardest competition in the country. Going into the night, our goal was to set fast time and win the race. So we ended up getting the fast time. We led a good chunk of the race. Just made the wrong changes at the halfway mark, and that's been our Achilles tendon in the last few years. I think we've led probably more laps than anybody else the first 100. Then come into the break, just over-adjusted again and fell back to, I think, 5th and kind of just rode around there. So we didn't really have anything at the end. I was kind of hoping for late race caution that would maybe cool the tires down and give us a chance. But, Matt and Ty were gone, and the rest of us were racing for 3rd and on back. So overall, it was disappointing. But due to Slinger and all the guys that work hard, Dan Casey and Natalie Haver, they raised a lot of money for lap leader money. So I think we led close to 80 laps. Walked away with over $4,000 in cash, so that was really cool. Makes the downfall of not winning the race a little bit more manageable.
And looking at the season on a Sunday night weekly basis, we're talking to the points leader for the super late models at Slinger, the premier division there. The pride is in the fact that there's been very close racing. The pride is in the fact that you've had to race your brains out to win 4 features and to finish top 4 like you did on Sunday night. There's a lot of close racing. And I would think that goes to a respect level. It also goes to a pride level, as I like to say, Wisconsin proud, because you guys have been kicking some tail this year. There's some really good racing going on at Slinger.
Yeah, there has been. Last week, Richie Locke won the top 4. He could throw over a blanket the last few laps, so which is really cool. You have guys that are winning that Richie has been racing there for a long time, and it's cool to see him back in victory lane. Do it the right way on the outside, hanging on, beating Brad Miller and the rest of us. So it's really cool. We put a lot of good races on this year so far. That's not going to change the last 2 races that we have at Slinger. So our goal is to fill the stands every Sunday, put a show on for the fans, and hopefully at the end of the night, the best car wins. If not, hopefully everybody loads in their chiller one piece.
Yeah, I was just thinking back to a couple of years ago. We had you here. You talked about maybe getting out on the boat. Matter of fact, you've had a couple of Sundays off, including this past Sunday. So your most recent race was over a week ago at Slinger. And then you had off the Sunday before the Nationals, which makes sense. How has that helped you with your mindset, knowing you're not out there beating your brains against the wall to make every Sunday? You got a couple of respites in between?
It's really nice. We kind of sat down at the end of the last year. We talked to Todd, and a bunch of racers got together and said, hey, what would it take to get that excitement back to guys to race full time for a championship again? And everybody kind of said, hey, everybody is busy. Everybody has, family life. What makes sense? 15 races, 10 races, 20 races. And we kind of said, hey, if we have a couple of nights off, maybe more guys will race for the championship or race for points at the end of the year. So that was kind of the goal. I think we raced 15 times. We had 0 rainouts so far. Weather's been awesome. Todd and the group that's putting on Slinger has done a phenomenal job trying to promote the track and get people in the stands. So it's fun. The excitement's there. The racing's been good. For the most part, everybody's loaded the car in one piece at the end of the night. So that's exciting. When you have 2 kids and a wife, the nights in the shop are a little bit shorter than what they used to be. But all good though. I mean, we really enjoyed having a couple weeks off in the middle of the season. But now it's end of the season push. So the guys are back in the shop working hard on the car and getting ready for this Sunday. This Sunday is our second to last night, so two nights to go. For us, our goal is to finish and load the car in one piece at the end of the night. Hopefully, at that point, it'd be in the top 3.
Yeah, and that really is a goal, managing what you can do, managing the finishes, not just I got to put everything out there. And to your point, the last points race of the Super Late Models is on Sunday night of Labor Day weekend, one of the bigger crowds, and it's a 100-lap Super Late Model race to finish out the season. There's a lot of pressure there.
It is, but at the end of the day, it's pretty cool that every race that Slinger so far has been 75 laps. Those extra 15 laps at the end of the race have really put on what the show is. I mean, if you look back at last week, if it was a 60-lapper, the week that I won, if it was a 60-lapper, it would have been kind of a dud. So the last 15 laps, maybe there's a caution that's thrown in there, maybe there's not, but it's been a really fun year for us. Luckily, we've had pretty good luck mechanically wise and on the racetrack, so it's a lot of fun hanging out with the guys in the race shop. If the kids go to bed and going inside to put the kids to bed, and then come back out in the shop and hanging out with the guys and being able to go to Slinger on Sunday, race hard for a win, have a beer with the guy after the race is over, and I raced with Brad Miller for 30 laps side by side. I think we touched maybe once. At the end of the night, if we would have finished second, I would have been just as happy as I was when I won. So to race against guys that have respect for you is really cool. There's probably 7 or 8 guys that could win on any given Sunday, which is probably Slinger hasn't seen that for a lot of years. So it's exciting, and Slinger's done an awesome job promoting us within and trying to really, our goal is to fill the stands. If we can make the track back to what it used to be, I think that's kind of everybody's goal at the end of the day.
And I've got to give a credit to where it's due. Tom Barron's actually, I wanted to be on the show, and he said, hey, can I bring Steve Apel with me because he's been such a big help. And we're going to have Tom on in a little while. We're going to have you guys on together, but things change. It's radio. What have you been able to do to help Tom or other drivers amidst everything else you have going on to try to win your own championship?
Well, Tommy has a lot of help in my team. If I need help, I give him a call, and he stops over and gives me a hand. So it goes both ways. Last Sunday, we were hanging out up north and got the call that Tommy needed some help in the pits. So came back early from vacation and gave him a hand in the pits on Sunday night, and luckily we were there. There was a part break in practice, and he needed some extra hands to get the car back together to get racing that night. So at the end of the night, he finished third, which was awesome. I think we all thought when we put the car back together that it was close, but maybe not as good as it could have been. But overall, it was a good night. He ran a smart race and finished third, so it was pretty fun.
Well, that's cool. How else have you been able to help Tom or other drivers with what you've been able to learn over the years at Slinger?
The biggest thing for me is just the consistency, making sure that you have spare parts with you in the trailer, making sure that you run a smart race, just take what the car will give you, not overdrive the car and put yourself in position to get caught up in a wreck. So, at the end of the day, none of us have deep pockets to fix these cars, so we're all doing it out of our own pocket or some help from some sponsors. And when the car comes home and it's wrecked, it's a long week and it's expensive, and at the end of the day, nobody wants that. So to be able to race and have some fun, have a lot of respect for your fellow racers, that's what it's all about.
Steve Apel, who is supporting your efforts to winning another championship at Slinger this year when it comes to sponsors and crew folks that you've had with you?
No, we've had a good core group of guys for the last 10 years, 15 years since I started racing. I have Doug, who's been my tire guy since I started racing. He's one of my dad's best friends. Obviously, my dad, my spotter. My brother, who's I would say the car chief or crew chief on the car. Marcus, who is another guy that helps in the shop and at the track. Dave, Tommy Barons. There's a big group of guys. But it's really it's a core group of guys that are there every week that put their time in and help me out to do what I love. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So winning some races always helps, kind of boost the morale in the shop.
Makes that beer taste really good.
It does. List of sponsors, it's remarkable how many people have stepped up this year. This past winter we had lost one of our longtime sponsors, Dave Schrader. We knew that he had health issues at the end of last year, so We unfortunately wrecked the car August last year. We're kind of out the sideline the rest of the season. Brad Casso said, hey, jump in my car. I was able to put straighters on it. Race one last time to have him see me race one more time, which was really cool. So we lost Dave this offseason, and we also lost Carl Wagner, which was a big help when I started my own team, helping with the motor program and whatnot. So this year's been a little bit tough on the sponsor side, but at the end of the day, we do it because we love the sport, and there's a lot of guys that stepped up on my sponsors that said, hey, we that you have a little bit of tough time with your current sponsors. We'll help out, kick in a little bit more money. So, Engineered Metal Products, my employer is CETA, Snow Studs, Ram Tool. I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. There's a big list of guys. I don't have it written down right now, but it's remarkable how many guys, when you ask for a little bit of help or a little bit of assistance, that say, hey, we like your program, we like what you do on the racetrack. We'll chip in to be on your race car, which is really neat.
When it comes to chassis manufacturers, there's pride on the line as well. What chassis manufacturer do you race with, and how much do you have to help others racing your chassis on a given Sunday night?
It's a little bit unique at Slinger. I think you have a variance of left-handers, Pathfinders, Howl cars, Fury cars. So we've started off with a left-hander. We went to a Pathfinder, and then we switched to a Fury last year. We don't get a lot of support down south, but we have Chris Wimmer. Travis Dassel helped me out a couple weeks ago just to kind of get the car dialed in. For long run speed, I think we had qualifying speed and short run speed. We're just trying to find the lap 40 to lap 75 is kind of what we're looking for. So we don't race against a lot of Fury cars on a weekly show. It's just the bigger races that they're there. But for the most part, it's been a big mix of chassis builders, engine builders, and whatnot. But it's been a lot of fun seeing what we could do with the different brand of race cars, and I don't think it makes a difference on the brand or the motor that you run. It always seems like the same teams are always up at the top. So we've had, an LS motor, we've run a Hamner motor this year, we ran an Ace, we ran a Southern Parts motor, and we were always up and being a contender. So that gives us a lot of confidence as a team that we know what we're doing. Maybe we lean on some guys for some tips here and there when we're maybe second guessing ourselves, but overall, we have a strong group of guys that like to work hard and get the job done.
We wish you success in doing just that. How about I say for Steve Apel, driver in the Slinger Super Speedway Super Late Models, in that number 51, going for a championship. This would be number 3, 4. What would this be?
We have a couple of weeks left, but I don't want to. This would be number 4.
Okay, so he has the three-time champion. We'll leave it at that. Racing for a championship in the next 2 Sundays. See him live at Slinger Speedway. Steve, thanks a lot for joining us on the Racing Roundup Show. Make sure you sign our Bob Trado sign right on our backdrop. We're live at Friends on Forest Home, hanging out with some great racers. We've got tickets to give away after the show. We're pulling out a number out of the bucket when we go to commercial for anybody to drink free like to do every Sunday. Come on down on a Sunday. Watch the rest of the NASCAR races here with your friends. And every time there's a yellow flag, they pull a number and you drink till the next caution flag. We're doing that during our show tonight as well. So thanks to Tommy and Mo for that generous gesture as well. We're live. We've got a lot more things to cover, including the Short Track Report, the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report, and more. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070 and 100.9 FM. We will be right back.
Every Saturday at Dell's Raceway Park from May to September, it's exciting stock car racing. Drivers from throughout the Midwest try to tame the 1/3 mile paved oval. Your family will enjoy the racing, the playground for the kids, ice-cold beverages, and terrific food. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5, green flag racing at 6. Dell's Raceway Park, located 5 miles west of Wisconsin Dells on highways 12 and 16. For more info, go online to DellsRacewayPark.com. Get the family together for exciting stock car action every Saturday night at Dell's Raceway Park.
Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right.
Thanks for being here.
Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you.
All right, friends, fans, we got a giveaway. Yellow flag trophy on the line. Drink for free to the next caution. And by the way, thanks to Chuck Berry, you guys are drinking free tap beer until the show's over. So thank you, Chuck. 7:30 is when you get to stop. And thank you, bartenders. Make sure you tip your bartenders. They still take tips, you know. Number for the next yellow flag trophy right here, 381. 381. 381, you won the yellow flag trophy till our next commercial.
On the patio this summer with Paulies has 18 flat screen TVs to catch all of your favorite sports.
Stay up to speed and download Paulies mobile app and receive a free 22-ounce tap beer. Paulies Pub and Eatery.com. Have you partied with Paulie?
If you want to eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races, then you should hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack. His motor coaches get the best parking spots. Let someone else worry about race traffic after the race. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Talladega, Charlotte, Joliet, Daytona, Michigan, and more. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Boring Bob has great packages for NASCAR, Winston Cup, and Busch Series events, including hotel rooms. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Stay tuned for the Racing Roundup Show, America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program held in front of a live audience. Stay up to speed every Tuesday night on the local racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports from 6 to 7:30, live on WOKY Milwaukee, the Big 920, and WTSO Madison, the Big 1070. Join the racing crowd for tonight's live broadcast. Once again, here's the trackside voice of the Daytona 500 and NASCAR at the track. You hear him on MAV TV's live coverage of the ARCA Menard Series. The host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday evening. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We're back next Tuesday at Paulies Pub and Eatery. Check out our website for all that's going on with our show, racingroundup.net. Thanks to our friends at Matt Rapina, Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. I'd like to remind you one last time, Friends Fest is coming up. Friday, August 30th is the free car show, 5 to 10. Lots of great prizes. Every car is welcome. Every bike is welcome. Trophies per class. It's Friday evening, August 30th during Friends Fest. Saturday, they got the margarita machines going, live bands, big tent in the parking lot on Labor Day weekend. So come on down to Friends Fest. We're hanging out at Friends right now, 56th and Forest Home. And fresh off the two-wheeler, let's welcome in Dave Davis of Indian Motorcycle of Metro Milwaukee. Dave, welcome back. Welcome back from the big ride.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been riding a lot this summer. We finally got out on the road in most of August and a little bit of July, and we happen to have a nice ride this weekend. We just got back from a 500-mile kind of a reunion ride with the ex-governor of the state of Wisconsin, so we had a heck of a nice time. Ended up in Wausau and had some pretty clean weather and got back into town. But the month of August is winding down, and we've got a ton of stuff going on, kind of at the dealership and a little bit all over town. Obviously, the end of the model year is coming, so this Saturday is one of our hugest sales of the season, and it's really supported by the factory with deep discounts, and we've got a ton of merchandise we'd like to move, and between the different types of discounts you can get on, the pricing is as desirable as you'll see all year long.
All right.
So please come and visit us. We've also had a demo day in August, and we had 2 days, a Friday and a Saturday, and we were swamped. And so we have set up another day for the 21st of September. We're going to have 1 day for a demo day, and we're going to repeat what we did. We actually met a new 100 new friends that rode around for about 150 rides. Yeah, so we were pretty exhausted by the end, and it was a very successful period.
Demonstration day, not demolition day. If you don't
No,
know what demo means.
demonstration.
Yeah.
In the word we hate to mention, but winter is coming upon us.
Yep.
And so we've started to prepare ourselves for that, which is winter storage. And so we don't want to forget that. We'll start taking people that want to get up on the list anytime they want to call in. We'll store bikes for about $299 for the winter. We tender them. They're kept high and dry. And we obviously start them up in the spring, give them a once-over, kind of an inspection, wash them, and put them back on the road. We're also, all the fall merchandise is in, so if anybody's looking for heavier grade material.
Might even need it this weekend.
You could
Down
be.
in the 50s already.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's, I live on Little Muskego Lake. I get up each and every morning. Some days there's fog, some days there's not. Fog starts coming, the season's over.
Yeah.
Last crazy thing we're doing is, as I leave here tonight, I'm going to go over to State Fair. There's a drag racing event. They drag in the first 300 feet of the straightaway.
Yep. Milwaukee Street Drags. The monthly affair is tonight.
And my crazy partner is down there as we speak.
Watching?
No. He's got his derriere on a bike he built that's got a 146-inch engine in it. He's got an FTR flat racer. He's got himself a chopper. I mean, and a couple of my mechanics are down there, so it'll be a full a group of zany and wild people.
Drag racing at the mile tonight.
Yeah, Robert was practicing all day long on Racing Avenue. I'm surprised he didn't get arrested. And then the last thing I want to mention is on October 5th, what is kind of morphed over the years, that being the month that we all look for, towards the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. There is a ride that has come, and it was founded by Melody Wilson, and it's called the ABCD ride, which is after breast cancer diagnosis.
And Melody Wilson was a longtime news anchor in Milwaukee on the local TV station.
And that they've generated, probably in excess of $20 million worth of contributions throughout the year. And we have been asked to host that on the 5th of October. And so, come rain or shine, that's a ride everybody should look into and come in and sponsor and join the ride and participate in it. It's a wonderful cause. And for those of us who've all been touched by cancer, we have that awareness of how it changes our life from that day forward. So that's what we got going on.
And the website to go to
is you're gonna actually go to the dealership website.
Yeah.
Okay, which is Indian Motorcycles at MetroMilwaukee.com.
And the address is easy. Matter of fact, just take a ride down I-43, Rock Freeway, exit Racine Avenue, go south a couple of miles. Don't get to Janesville. You went too far.
And there's always got something going on. There's just never a question. We seem to. I was in the banking business for 47 years, and I pretty well told people I left that industry because all I did was stand around and make farm noises each and every day. Now I get up every morning and I go to a block party. It's a hell of a different deal. Yeah. So I really enjoy it. We've had a wonderful group of professionals. We've had another wonderful year. We'll sell more than enough bikes in our original Indians, our Royal Enfields, and our pre-owned products, American made and metric. And we've grown from approximately about 5 of us over the last 5 years to almost 20 full-time and part-time people. We grew from about 10,000 square foot. We're in 20,000 square foot now. So our business has been excellent, and the product is excellent. It speaks for itself. There's no doubt about it.
Keep up the great work, and thanks for your support of our show.
Thank you much for inviting me.
Thank you, Dave Davis, everybody, hanging out with us from Indian Motorcycle in Metro Milwaukee. When we come back, we're talking to the hot dog daddy, Tom Behrens, chasing things down, finished third on Sunday with a little help from Steve Apel. We'll talk to the hot dog daddy when we come back. Tom Behrens will join us, as well as the Bonafide Security Solution Short Track Report. Yet on the way, live at Friends on Forest Home. 56th and Forest Home is where we're hanging out. It's Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar. Come on down and join the racing crowd tonight or any Sunday for NASCAR races. We're back on the Big 920 in Milwaukee, and in a moment or two, we'll be back in Madison on the Big 1070 and 100.9 FM. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For over 30 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emissions testing plus minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. Call Oak Creek Automotive 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Friday, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th Street and Drexel to the pros at Oak Creek Automotive.
Bergie's Pub and Prime in Caledonia is your destination for mouth-watering prime rib dinners and sandwiches and awesome pub burgers. Enjoy daily menu specials, the soup of the day, steak sandwiches, and the area's best homemade pizza. Try Bergie's Friday Fish Fry or weekend breakfast buffet from 7 a.m. till noon. Bergie's Pub and Prime is a proud sponsor of the Good Neck Racing Team. Bergie's is just minutes south of the Milwaukee Airport, off of I-94 at the 7 Mile Road exit. Head east 2 blocks and hang a left on Frontage Road till it ends. Like them on Facebook, Bergie's Pub and Prime.
Automatic Transmission Design is located in Germantown, Wisconsin. They've been hard at work the last 15 years in perfecting the best performance racing transmissions and converters. The folks at ATD have made it possible to offer the best quality and most affordably priced winning components for off-road, drag racing, truck pulling, and circle track applications. ATD may not be the biggest or most famous company in the marketplace, but they have the will and put in that extra effort to provide you with the best products available. ATD's certified technicians go through a comprehensive quality checklist on every transmission and converter they build. Then it's tested on their in-house dyno. Only then is the product ready for shipment to the customer. ATD takes these steps to provide you with the best quality products every time. They are 100% guaranteed. Their no returns policy makes sure it's right the first time. The next time you need a performance transmission or converter, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
The Racing Roundup Show. Visit the show's website, racingroundup.net. Like the show on Facebook and follow on Twitter at Racing Roundup. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Modest Dad looks like he's got shit going on. All right, people. Last chance to win the Yellow Flag Trophy until we forget to get it back from you. You ready? Drink free until we yank the trophy if your number ends in 386. 386. 386. Mark, you got to use somebody else's glasses. 386.
It's time to tell you about a brand new product coming to market, the Hot Dog Daddy, an all-beef gourmet hot dog made right here in Milwaukee. You'll taste the difference with the special spices and family recipe. These dogs compare and taste better than the big three hot dog makers. Look for the Hot Dog Daddy, 100% all-beef skinless hot dogs, soon to be available in Sendik's food markets and Cermak Fresh Market stores. Ask for the Hot Dog Daddy at your favorite grocer. This week's Hot Dog Daddy driver drives
the number 99 at Slinger Super Speedway. He is sitting right next to me. Let's give it a nice hand for number 99, Tom Behrens. Tom, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show, Hot Dog Daddy.
Thanks for having me again.
Well, we did have you on Bonafide Security Solutions Team Bonafide Night. It's got to be kind of fun hanging out with a bunch of people like they may not have raced against or know what they raced, and now you're all one big group thanks to Mike Egan.
Yeah, Mike's a big help to the racing community. He does a lot. Super nice guy. I think I've known him since I was pretty much born.
And it sounds like Steve Aples has had your help. Is it something you did before you went racing or driving, or you just helped him while you raced?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, we obviously grew up together, you know, playing in the pits, playing in the stands, climbing on the bleachers.
Nice.
Had a good childhood with those guys.
So who are your driving heroes when you were growing up? Who'd you all stop playing under the stands and watch?
Fred Wynn was one of them.
I
mean, you know, I've grown up with him my whole life, and, you know, obviously Brad Miller and Conrad Morgan and Donovan Morgan. You know, everybody thinks they got the number 99 from Dick Trickle, but it's probably really from Donovan.
Really? Cool.
So
he's kind of your age. I know he didn't race as long as you now have had the ability to, but I've actually saw a couple pictures on a Facebook page recently of Donovan racing. That had to be a lot of fun hanging out with him and racing with him, or getting to know him a little bit. Or were you just a super fan? Which was it?
Well, Donovan's probably a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
Probably quite a bit older.
All right.
But I don't know. I mean, I liked watching all those guys. You know, it was fun. You know, that's what got me into racing, and you know, my dad helping out Fred his whole life, and you know, I mean, I obviously wouldn't be racing if it wasn't for my dad, and and all the other people that helped me.
How much came to you because you've been around it? I think there's something to be said about that. When it's your turn to go racing or your turn to help somebody, you just kind of have this feeling, this knowledge. It's innate, I think. Has that helped you in situations where, like, I think we have to do this, and it turns out better than wrong often?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I've always wanted to race, and I got into it when I was a little bit too old, I would say. But
how long you been racing? Driving, I mean.
Since 2002.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, I was like probably 19, 20 when I started, and I started in 4-cylinders, and I pretty much played the whole 4-cylinder game till about 3 years ago. So
fast, holy cow! They're clicking there at Slinger and everywhere else I've seen 4-cylinders lately. There's a lot of technology and speed in those cars.
Yeah, they come a long way, but they're sort of dying off too because it's a hard division to tech, and a lot of kids nowadays don't want to do that type of stuff anyway. So it sucks, but
yeah. Hang out with Tom Behrens, who drives the number 99 late model at Slinger Super Speedway, 5th in the points. You've got some stiff competition every time you race. You've got Jerry Eckhart on your heels in points. You've got Jerry Miller, Ryan Gudnick, Jack Stern, Jacob Nottestad ahead of you in points. You got 3 nights left. I mean, has it been a long season, a challenging season, a rewarding season? What would you classify it as?
I would say it's been a challenging season. The beginning of the season, it started out okay. Middle of the season had a lot of malfunctions and stuff not go my way. And then towards the end here, we finally got the car figured out, and it was going really good. I had a second, a third, and then 2 weeks ago, I had a bad tire or something. It grew like 3 inches.
Whoa.
And I just went backwards, and then
a quarter inch is a lot. If you don't know what the measurements would really mean, how bad it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's a defective tire.
Okay.
So, and then we got that all figured out, and then we came out on Sunday with a good game plan, and it was really fast for the first 10 laps, and I was about to pull off, and I broke a third link, and took drive shaft, rear shocks, and bent a stub over about 3 inches in the rear.
Wow. Wow. So that's why you got Steve Apel off of the pontoon to come help.
Yeah, I'm lucky for those guys. I mean, hate to cut their vacation short.
But it came back to third. I mean, you probably had to do it for them because of all the work put in there. Nice job.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, as we got it fairly close, and it drove really good, but it got real tight towards the end there, and I had nothing for Gutnick or Nottestad, so I just let those two guys just battle it out, and I rode it out and got a third place finish out of it.
Give us some insights. What is that car condition now? Have you torn it back apart again to make sure it's all good for this coming Sunday at Slinger?
Yeah. Bought a new drive shaft, obviously new shocks, and I'm just going to leave the stub for the rest of the year.
Okay.
It's a dumb part.
Okay.
So.
Thoughts about getting up to third, maybe second in points? You got some stiff competition we talked about during the commercial break, but is it possible for you?
No, I'm pretty far out.
Okay.
Nottestad and Gutnick are like 300 points ahead of me.
Okay.
So I'm hoping for a top 4. I still can. Me and Jerry can battle it out for 4th. So should be a good run.
What do you enjoy about racing at Slinger? Because I'm sure you've had a choice of thinking about where else you may want to race. Has it always been Slinger? Is it the track you've always wanted to race at?
Slinger's a fun track. It's definitely difficult to be precise. You got to be spot on every turn to be fast. Slinger is probably not my number 1 track to race at. I really like the Dells.
Okay.
In the 4-cylinder. I've never been there in a late model yet, but I really want to. But I'd have to say probably Rockford and the Dells are my 2 favorite tracks.
Okay. Are you going to visit any of those before the calendar year turns to 2020?
Probably not.
Okay.
We're going to finish the season out at Slinger here, and then we're probably just going to save it for La Crosse.
Gotcha.
I ran my first half mile there, or 5/8, whatever it is, last year for Oktoberfest, and I loved it.
Wow.
It was a blast. It was
cool.
First time ever on a big track like that, and I had a blast.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Oktoberfest is coming up, I think, the first weekend in October. Who is with you tonight, and who's on your crew that helps you on a given weekly basis, Tom?
My wife, my daughter, my dad, my mom, obviously the whole Apel clan. Couldn't be here without them.
Yeah, Mark Apel's wearing one of your shirts, actually. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's my spotter.
He's your spotter, too. Okay.
Yeah, he
stands near the hot dog stand for some reason. I don't know if does he ever leave? Does he ever come in the pits? I just see him up in the back.
I don't know. I think he's got an underground tunnel right to our area because he seems to get back pretty quick.
All right.
He's never out of breath for some reason.
Yeah. How about the wrenches? Who are the chief wrenches that are not on the pontoon but are there every Sunday for you helping out?
Pretty much me, my dad, my wife, my daughter, and my mom.
Wow. How about sponsors? I know we talked about Team Bonafide and all the good things they get to do. It's actually something that you had to apply for and say, I can race and represent you well, and you have so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really couldn't have done it without WeldFab. WeldFab has been one of my biggest sponsors throughout my whole racing career, and they've stuck with me from thick to thin. So, I mean, same with Becker McLeod. They've been with me from the start. Freedom RV's been with me from the start. Motor Masters. I mean, I work during the winter. I've known George and Sherry my whole life. They're a big part in it too. So, but I have to thank Krause Window Tintings, Kanicki's Bar and Grill, Richfield Roadhouse, Little Red Inn, Bonafide Security, 45 Productions, L's Pig's Butt, Best Butts in Town, Kewaskum, Wisconsin, Section G Shotgunners, and JR Photography.
That's a lot of cool people to take along for the ride when you go. It's got to be fun hanging out with those good people that are with you.
Yeah, I've been fortunate this year to have the sponsors that I do and the friends that I do.
Well, keep up the great work. You got 3 more points nights, and we'll see you at Oktoberfest if all plays well. But I stand for Tom Barron's joining us here on the Race Roundup Show, our Hot Dog Daddy Driver of the Week. Thank you, Tom. Make sure you sign our backdrop as well. We appreciate you coming down with all the folks here to Friends and Forest Home for our broadcast. Next week, we're live at Paulies Pub. We want to tell you in a few moments that we have some giveaways after the show. We told you about what we're giving away, including tickets to the Brickyard 400 and the Saturday Xfinity Series race, tickets to Wisconsin International Raceway any Thursday of the remaining weekly schedule. A lot of great giveaways, including a Miles the Mouse Melia's hat that we got donated from a brand spanking new ball cap with the number 1 and the mouse on it. So in memory of Mouse, we got one of those to give away tonight and other cool stuff we do every Tuesday. This is time for the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report to select the right business and residential security system for your needs, including alarm systems, closed circuit and card access. It's a lock. Contact a Great Wisconsin Short Track supporter at 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. Nick Nolan captured the Weaver Auto Parts 50-lap late model feature Saturday night at the Dells Raceway Park. Fast qualifier Malin Borntrager won the 35-lap feature as a twin features over Nick Beaver and Nolden. Bonafide Security Solutions sponsored Nick Egan won the Dash. Matt Berlin won the 602 late model 25-lap feature over Dave Trout. And Jeremy Bredesen claimed the 15-lap Bandit feature. This Saturday night at the Dells Raceway Park is round 4 of a Live for 5 Badger State Shootout 125. It's the star-studded super late model entry list that's out. It's including Red Hot Ty Majeski on the entry list. All comers will be racing for $4,500 to win. Details at DellsRacewayPark.com. Congrats to Bobby Goodnecht, who's here tonight. He won the feature on Saturday at Slinger Super Speedway of Oak Creek Automotive. Last week's guest on the show, Bill Breitzel, he won the modified feature at Slinger in one of their 3 appearances this year. The headliners were the late models on Sunday night with Jacob Nottestad picking up a 6th feature win of the season over last week's feature winner, Oak Creek Automotive's Ryan Goodnecht. Finishing third is a man who's sitting still to my right-hand side here. Nice job, Tom. Evan Hessler added his name to the Slinger winners list at age 12. He won the Slinger Bees feature over 14-year-old Team Bonafide racer J.D. Rutzer. J.D. is here in the house, where he was earlier. Good to see J.D. and his dad, Kevin. Cody Hubert won his 4th late model feature win of the season Saturday night at Jefferson Speedway. Jim Robinson won the Hobby Stock main with fast qualifier Aaron Moyer, the victor in the Legends feature. In dirt late model action, Justin Schmidt wrapped up his 2nd Plymouth Dirt Track Championship in a row by winning the feature Saturday night over Turk Letizia and Ron Stryka. Last week's show guest Brad Miller ran 6th after his heat race win. Jonathan Oddie won his first ever Grand Nationals feature. Nick Anvelink survived a banging run to the finish line outside of Brett Swedberg to win round 9 of the DiscountShopTowels.com Dirt Kings Tour at Autogamey Speedway in Seymour on Friday night. Nick is king for the 3rd time this year, with Swedberg settling for his 6th second place finish. Friday night, my brother Ron and I attended the Howie Little Classic, the ARCA Midwest Tour race at Madison International Speedway. It was awesome. What a crowd. It was a blast hanging out with Howie's family and crew guys, including my brother Ron. I was asked to host the Matt Kenseth question and answer portion of the VIP experience. That was a fun thing, too. Really enjoyed seeing what the fans were bringing for him to autograph. What a great night of racing. 3 great divisions, a lot of fun racing. Congrats to the McCarnes family on a home run Friday night. Levon Vandergeest raced through the field to win the Norris Tavern 30-lap Midwest Truck Series, sponsored by E3 Spark Plugs feature. That series is sponsored in part by Pathfinder Chassis and Seminary Springs Tavern in Sun Prairie. For complete details on this series, go to MidwestTruckSeries.com. The Midwest Dash Series raced on the half mile on Friday night. It was really entertaining to watch, with Brandon DeLacy in car 119 slicing his way to victory. As we mentioned earlier, Matt Kenseth, the last race at Madison in 2014, he qualified 5th. He then joined VIP Experience for fans for autographs, photos, and the Q&A. As the invert would have it, Matt started outside row 1 of Austin Nason for the Howie Little Classic 100 and led the first 31 laps. Emerging to his rear bumper was Ty Majeski, worked under and passed Matt for the lead as he did not relinquish it. It was Majeski's car on rails, and even through restarts, no one really had anything for Ty. Past ARCA Midwest Tour champs Jonathan Island from 15th and Andrew Morrissey were impressive in their runs late to a strong second and third place finish in the 26-car field, as no tire changes were allowed for the 100-lapper on Wisconsin's fastest half mile. They're back in action this Friday night. I then drove down to Springfield Dirt Mile in time to learn of the rain-postponed USAC Silver Crown race and prep for Sunday's big ARCA Menards one-day show. The last half of the race belonged to current point leader and dirt first-timer. Yeah, first time in a dirt car. Michael Self raced on to victory ahead of his teammate Christian Eckes, who was on much fresher tires. Finishing third was pole sitter and national dirt midget racer Logan Seavey. It was great to see young drivers Corey Heim and Ty Gibbs both get up and lead some laps in their dirt debuts. The next ARCA Menards Series race is next Saturday night on the dirt at the DuQuoin Fairgrounds on Labor Day weekend. I'll again be in the booth for the live coverage of the race on MAV TV. The Open Wheel Report is brought to you by Schlafer Auto Body at the corner of Good Hope Road and Main Street in Landon. They have quality used cars and can repair your daily driver or classic car. See their latest projects on their Facebook page, including a yellow VW Bug that's turned into a pumpkin. Yeah, search Schlafer Auto Body on Facebook. It's fun to watch what they do. They're in business for over 40 years. Discover what 4 generations of racers at Schlafer Auto Body in Landon can do for you. Bill Baylog conquered the IRA Sprint Saturday night over Scotty Neitzel in the 36-lap Roger Isles tribute feature during the Kenosha County Fair at Wilmot Raceway. Chris Dodd won the wingless headliner over Jimmy Sivia. Friday night at Wilmot, tonight's guest Chris Carlson came up 1 spot short. The winner is Tim Hamburg. Next week's guest Nick Simons ran 3rd. Cody Erickson of Algonquin, Illinois, won the 20-lap Street Stock feature Friday at Wilmot during the fair. At the Plymouth Dirt Track, all the past champions were honored, which was always cool to see. Well, Kurt Davis is one of those, and he also, in fitting fashion, won his 60th Plymouth 360 Sprint Car A-Main, his 3rd on the season. Past Plymouth champion guest next week on our show, Danny Schlafer, was heat race winner, but only ran 21st in the A. Travis Aarons jumped into a B-Mod of point leader Tim Warner, and guess what? He won the B-Mod feature. Jeff Selinsky beat Scott Hatton in the Badger Midgets feature on Scotty Thiel, beat Persistence, and Jeremy Schultz charged to the finish line in the IRA Sprints. Topped the actual, that was actually the annual Corn Fest race Sunday night at Angel Park Speedway at Sun Prairie. Good job by those guys. And as part of their centennial celebration, I mentioned that $100,000 to win Orange County Fair Speedway. I never mentioned who won. This kid named Matt Williamson held off NASCAR driver Stuart Friesen. A 2-hour rain delay, 69 cars signed in, 43 cars started the feature. 160 laps later, Matt Williamson climbs out of his big block modified, a $100,000 winner over Stuart Friesen to cash the check. So nice job by those guys. What a great run they had. And I'm telling you what, we have fun every time we come here to Friends on Forest Home. This is the place. Tommy and Mo have taken over since early July. They want to make sure you enjoy it as much as they do. They have a lot of fun. Friends Fest is coming up on Friday, August 30th. There's a free car show. Come on down, bring your car, bring your motorcycle. They've got trophies for your class. They've got a bunch of fun things going on in a beer tent outside. Margaritas are flowing on Saturday. Live bands all weekend long on Friday and Saturday, August 30 and 31. But they certainly want to mention that you're welcome to bring your car, your race car, to the car show on Friday night, August 30th. We also want to mention that there's a lot of cool things going on when it comes to Friends. Every Sunday, NASCAR races. Boom, here. This is where you want to be. Every Badger game, every Packers game. They've got a bunch of TVs. They got a cool party room in the back as well. So come on down to Friends on Forest Home. Come in a stranger, leave as a friend. Their 7th annual Friends Fest is not this week, but next week, Friday and Saturday, August 30 and 31. Want to thank Forest Home. Thanks for having us. We are very fortunate to have great friends and racers like Matt Kenseth, Chris Carlson, Steve Apel, Dave Davis, and Tom Behrens join us on this broadcast. Next week, Tuesday night, we're back at Paulies with Schlafer Auto Body sponsored drivers Alan Danny Schlafer, Badger Midget Series President Quinn McCabe, Badger Midget Racer Zach Bowden, and Harlan Kittleson's making an appearance. Mike Watson and Nick Simons will stop by to talk more about the Watson race, the Wildman Watson Dirt Kings race September 7 at Wilmot Raceway, and the full wrap in the world of racing. As what we call the Racing Roundup Show. We round them all up and we spit them out every Tuesday for 90 minutes. We love having you as our audience. Join us on our website to find out more details and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. RacingRoundup.net is our website. Thanks to our great staff again. We couldn't do without our great team. Until next Tuesday, set your DVRs, support your local racing, and have at it, racers.